Time is 12:35. You're tuned into the mid-morning talk with me, Fazila Isaac, on Salam Media. We are now joined by Estelle Smith, who's the founder and owner of Underdogs SA Rescue and Rehabilitation Center. She has also been a registered breather for 25 long years. She has also started this particular company that assists with rehabilitating and rescuing, specializing in pit bulls as well. Thank you for joining us on the show, Estelle.
Good morning, and thank you for having me here.
So we do see that you have quite a long, a standing relationship with a Pitbull. Sorry. What was the reason behind starting the rescue and rehabilitation center that you have?
The problem is, I started noticing a lot of cruelty on this specific breed, um, and I just thought to myself, the passion I've got for this breed and to help unfortunate people and unfortunate animals, I started to um, go out, and I said, I'm going to open an organization. I want to help the unprivileged. I want to help educate. I want to help this breed because they are absolutely used for the wrong thing. Sometimes it's just, uneducation in small little things that every time when I go out and I rescue and I talk to the people, I tell them, listen, but don't do this, or why did you do this? Then they, oh, I didn't know. So there's a lot of um, ignorance on the education of this breed. Because this is a power breed. It's not like a normal dog, just everybody must get this breed as a pet. Because pit bulls is not for everybody. It's really, really a dog that you've got to understand. But the popularity of this dog grew so much that everybody wants one. Because, people are placing videos and photos and everything on social media, how they're loving and cuddle their dogs, people going out, jogging with their dogs. It's a specific lifestyle for some people, and it's a specific, like a companion for some people, and then there's the breeders.
So there has been a huge outcry recently about the dangers of the pit bull. What is your take on
Yes.
this?
I think it's all undereducated and irresponsible owners. There's a lot of backyard breeding. Now, everybody knows a pit bull cannot be bred for to look alike. Yeah, I want this pit bull. This is a nice, good-looking pit, and that's a nice-looking pit, and they want to put them together. Or they breed out with different breeds, like bull bulls, mastiffs, um, um, Great Danes even. I mean, we got such a lot of dogs that's mixed up. So what we're asking the people, is to educate. We need to educate these people because if you breed out, pit bulls is specifically bred in the history. We need to focus. Like, look, we do not deny the history. The history is they were bred for fighting, but not humans. They were not human aggressors. They were bred for dog fighting, and that was purely onto breeding and fighting and breeding to get this pure. They wanted to create a pure dog, this intelligence and the stamina and the everything on the breed, the characteristics. They were building and characteristics to get the perfect dog. But now, because of the people, because they are phenomenal. They are a great, great breed. But now they started to breed out, and that's where the problems come in. Because, there's two factors that's very, very important on any dog and then on the pit bull as well. There's two specific things that trigger these dogs. When they get in fear, they will bite. When they get frustrated, they will bite. Now, what if a lot of people, you could look, they're highly energetic. We as Rehabilitation Center need to know that these dogs need to be stimulated, not only physically. There's a lot of people go out because it's their companion, it's part of their lifestyle. They run with the dogs, jog with them every day afterwards. That's a way to get the energies out, get them excited, a little bit of exercise. But they need mental stimulation as well. Also are intelligent, and to take this dog specifically train them is so wrong. That causes frustration. That's all because he can't get off. He's got energy. He needs to move around. To lock them in smaller cages because everybody, they've got a stigma behind them ever since I started with the dogs, that they are aggressive. They are with other dog breeds, but it's very important that there's always be socializing as well. Training is very crucial. And it needs to be started from a little puppy. When you buy it from a breeder, please don't buy from backyard breeders. Please don't buy them from pet shops. Buy them from registered breeding organizations that can give you the background of the breed. Then you start on this. When they are small, you start with training. Not abusing the dog because they don't learn. Because a lot of people don't understand that, the dog is small. When he is in the house, they're also cheating. So when they cheat, they're going to chew your stuff. And then they get upset and give him a hiding because he cheats. But actually, in actual fact, it's actually cheating. Or when it's potty training, do it the right way. Because if you hit the dog and abuse the dog on potty training, you are triggering aggressiveness.
So, do you think it's this mixed breeding or even the fact that they are meant to be fight dogs? Do you think this is the reason why they are so aggressively attacking, especially children?
I think yes. People, the main problem is the owners. There's a lot of irresponsible owners out there. It's today, we are in a lifetime at the moment that you are working tremendously hard to get the pot cooking on in your house. So people, the owners don't really have time for their dogs and time for the kids. The kids is left alone. The dogs is left alone. They're running around. They don't have money to train the dogs. They don't have time to play with it, to stimulate the dogs or to play with the kids. Now the kids are taking control. They're doing the wrong things. They train the dogs with stones. They're playing hard with this dog, playing tug of war. And then that's a problem where they start to name. Everybody promotes, the dogs is great for fighting. But now I've got working in areas sometimes, people talk to me and say, Estelle, we've got a problem. My kids want to, backyard breeding, they want to start a business. And I told them that they can start with Pitbull breeding, and then there's entrepreneurs. They get educated, they start breeding. I said, listen, if your child is 8 to 10 years old, please do not use this breed for a breeding organization, for an entrepreneur's project. They're not for that. So I think, and the fighting with the dogs, these kids start fighting with these dogs from 8 to 12 years old. So the owners need to take responsibility, not to breed with these dogs if they haven't got the education. Go to companies like the Pitbull Federation, that's a breeding organization. Talk to these people about breeding. The owners, please, if you don't have time to educate your kid or let people come and give you education. We also, Underdogs goes out to schools where we do training on these kids. We talk to the children, try to educate them, on basic things. Like we went out and then one little boy said to us, our dog doesn't want to eat our food that we're giving him. And I asked them, listen, these dogs need to be regulated. You need to take your dogs to see that each and every owner have to have a veterinary book that vaccinations, deworming, microchipping must be up to date. We are trying to ask the public, please sterilize your dogs. That's also a reduce on the testosterone on the males and the estrogen on the females to help them not to be so forcefully, in their trait, because sometimes a male smell a female that's on heat 70. Pitbulls, any dog actually, has got from 1,000 to 10,000 times stronger noses, smells they pick up. And then if the irresponsible owners leave their kids, they leave the dogs alone with the kids probably take the dog, hurt him when they pick them up, throwing him, or the dog retaliates, turn around and warn the child. The child don't know the behavior of the animal, and he asks for he take something else, and he try to do something else. And this provoke the dogs, screaming, shouting, footwork. They don't know and they must be respected. People, the public must know, the parents, please teach your kids for respect for any other animal, not only pit bulls. Because the most bitten is the most people that get bitten is kids.
And
You
that's the thing.
understand
And
what
when they're
I'm?
getting bitten, it's so aggressive, and most of them are actually passing away from this. So
Yes,
the accountability then should it then fall on the owners, because people are really gruesomely killing them now. The past few days it's been really rough,
absolutely.
especially for the specific breed. So who should then be held responsible? Should the owners be accountable for this? And what can
That's
be done to these owners? So I'd like to unpack on that as soon as we get back from our short break. We're going to
okay.
take one now and we'll be back. I just want to speak on that accountability. Stay tuned.
Listen to something fresh. Listen to Salam Media.
Hunger ratios in South Africa are on an upward trajectory since the beginning of COVID-19. Over 23% of South African households experienced hunger last summer. At SANZAF, we aim to ease the hunger struggles of those in need by providing freshly prepared meals daily. You can be part of this by donating towards the SANZAF Meals Project. Visit sanzaf.org.za or call us on 011 834 6046. SANZAF, changing lives through development and relief.
Online schooling? Why not? Kurtuba Online Academy is the leading global online Islamic school from grade R to matric, offering South African caps and international syllabus. And it doesn't stop there. We also offer online madrasa for every grade. For more information, visit www.kurtubaonline.co.za. Kurtuba Online Academy, the leading global online Islamic school.
Discover the Africa of your dreams and surround yourself with her spectacular beauty. Relax beneath her serene sunsets and explore wildlife at its natural best. It's where the pride of Africa comes together. The Kwantu Private Game Reserve. Get to know the Big Five or cruise on an elephant safari game drive. Interact with lion and tiger cubs and enjoy world-class halal cuisine while we pamper you during your 5-star stay. Indulge in the true African experience. For reservations, call now on 042-203-1400 or visit kwantu.co.za. The Kwantu Private Game Reserve, the place of gathering.
Over 33 million people have been affected by the devastating floods in Pakistan. Homes have been destroyed, crops have been swept away, and roads have been damaged. Families are mourning their loved ones while trying to survive these horrific conditions. Penny Appeal is on the ground now, delivering food, shelter, medical supplies, and water to those in need. You can help save a life by donating today. Visit our website www.pennyappeal.org.za or call 031 1100 573. Penny Appeal South Africa. Small change, big difference.
Listen to something fresh. Listen to Salam Media.
The time is 12:49. You're tuned into the Mid-Morning Talk with me, Fazila Isaac. And on the line, we have Estelle Smith, who's the founder of Underdogs SA Pitbull Rehabilitation Center. Now, Estelle, before the break, we were speaking on the responsibility and accountability of the owners when it comes to this, the violent attacks that pit bulls are actually going through now. So what should the actions be of the owners? How should they be held accountable?
Okay, we are pleading with the owners not to leave your children unattended with a pit bull or any other dog for some matter. Because if you leave this child unattended, anything can happen. Because we as we said before, they are not for everybody. This is not, it's a high risk and it needs careful management. And don't put the dogs up for failure, because if you do that, that can escalate into a traumatic situation with your child. Please, keep your child in the supervision, because if I look at the little 3-year-old child that was molded, and we're Underdogs, condolences with all these families, because this is tragic what happened to them. But please, guys, help and stay in control of your kids. Keep your kids in your property. Because if this dog hurt a child, where were you when this happened? Why is your kids out of the yard? We are asking that there must be really more stricter rules and regulations. Look out where you buy a dog. Don't buy Pitbulls for your kids as pets. If you do not have time to train them and to do the basics, they will not do this. A lot of people, they buy the puppies, they're beautiful, and they play them because they're cute and everything. We ask the owners, that is now all these tragedies that happened, we ask the owners, please do not buy Pitbulls for your children as pets, or and we ask them as well, keep supervision of your kids, because all these situations the kids was alone. There was no supervision or controlled people over this at that stages when these did happen. So
But the most recent one where the child was mauled, it wasn't even, they weren't even the owners of the dog, The dog actually jumped into their yard and started attacking the child, What
Okay.
happens then?
Yes. Okay, and there's another thing as we as organization, when we get Pitbulls, out of any situation, we've got a protocol that works for this. We do proper home checks. You need to go out and do a home check. Never get a Pitbull in your property if you do not know that your property is safe to keep the dog, because a Pitbull is escaped guinea. If he hears children on the other side, you might hear them screaming, laughing, playing, and because of high energy, they would jump over. And if the kids get scared and start screaming, it can trigger it can trigger the dog, and then
So
also
what do
you
you
can
do
bite.
then? What do you do then if a dog attacks you? What is the best way to deal with that? Because we see that beating them up and hitting them so aggressively, it makes them even more aggressive, and they tend to bite even more and maul even more. So should someone find themselves in that situation, what can they do in order to be safely
Yeah.
away from the specific thing?
Okay. What we normally do as well, and that's very important, if you see a dog that's doing that, say for instance like this, keep the people on the other side of the fence. I know not all people can do this, but it's very important to keep control of a situation, because if you start throwing stones and screaming and do stuff like that, you're aggravating the dog more. To him, it's not normal behavior. For people, that's like, you do not scream, it's aggravating the dog. It's like you're wowing the dog, go, go, go. They don't understand, stop it, especially if they haven't had training. That's why training is so important, and education. Do not scream and throw stones, and rather, if you don't know how to handle this and you can see the molding, run, take a blanket, run in, and you must be 2 or 3 people. Go in, try to get control over the situation. If you see, I know lots of people is very, very scared for these dogs, but they're not normally human aggressive or dog aggressive. But rather phone immediately authorities, try to get the dog's attention away by other stuff as to throw stones and screaming, because that is aggravating the dog. And that is going to, the dog feels he must do it more and more. And as I say, of all these footage that we saw, and because of rescuing, they're not pit bulls. They're not pure pit bulls. The one dog was not even a pit bull at all. And the other one we could have seen on the footage, well, what we can have seen from our side was definitely a crossbreed. And sometimes it's difficult to identify, well, this dog will keep on doing it. And that's why I say, please, don't leave your kids alone. And if something like that happens and you get there, rather do a precaution like trying to separate the dog from the child, not pulling them and screaming and throwing them stones, because that is just going to escalate in more aggression.
So how do you do that separation?
Say again?
how do you do that separation? What do you use in order for, because they are holding on tight. So what can be done in order to separate them?
Okay, what we normally do is we go in with, I'll take a blanket and I go in and I throw it over the dog that's got the child. And then we are, I mean, I can say everybody must do that, but we throw it over the child and then we try to take the dog. One, hold onto the dog. I take the leash and then I'll suffocate it, put it around the dog's neck and I pull him and I talk to him calmly. If you scream and shout, it's not going to help. And then we say, leave. If he doesn't leave, we always got a breaking stick on the scene that if he doesn't want to leave, you put it in the side of the mouth and you twitch it and then his jaw open. It's not, he hasn't got a locked jaw, but he just loses focus. So one go in, one cover the child, the other one go to the dog. And we are also asking the public, please, put collars on your dog. It's much easier to control the dog if you've got a situation to get control on the collar, that you can hold the dog or twist the collar. And if he doesn't leave, you put the breaking stick and you twist the stick that he can open the jaw.
And tell me, can these dogs, this particular breed, can they be rehabilitated without regressing and becoming violent, aggressive, and deadly again?
We've got quite a few, yes, because the simple argument on that is they were abused. And the moment a dog gets abused, then you switch from dog aggressiveness to human aggressive. They can, but also we've got a number of behaviors on our books. I'm one myself. What we do is we can give an assessment on this dog. People got a problem. If they got an aggressive dog, phone us. We are there. We're not in the areas. We can always find any other dog behaviors. But we that works out Pitbulls can go out and assess these dogs. But as the dogs comes into Underdogs, we assess these dogs. If there's any aggression or redirected aggression, like when you work with him and somebody else passes you or whatever, we've got special tests we're doing. And then if this dog it got to be redirected aggression, we have to, unfortunately, then we put them down. You cannot put the dog back into a population, even though you train him and you socialize with him. And we do not take the chance to take a dog back to the population where he nearly killed or bitten people without any cause, because that's a default in the gene, in the makeup of this dog.
And what can be done right now to remedy the dire situation that we find ourselves in as a country? You know, the divide that this has caused. You have people who are really, really out there, you know, to harm the pets, and then you have those who the pets are actually killing our children. So how can we remedy the situation?
We're asking for stronger legislation, and you know, we need to do like a screening, like Underdogs is also doing. Screen the families, screen the property, screen the area. And if there's anything in this specific area that we can see, the dog's not going to cope here, and it's not going to work for these people, then we decline the people, or the property is not safe. They can jump a fence, like in the situation happened with this child. They can jump the fence, and then they can cause harm or killing like they did. So then we're asking for permits, licenses, stricter rules and regulations to ban the breed is not going to help. Because at the moment, 99% of the breeding that's going on is illegal. These people don't care how they breed. They're breeding because of poverty in our country. They breed for money, for food. They breed for money for their drug habits. They breed for money for dog fighting. They fight for these dogs. I've got videos and clips where we went out where they're fighting puppies, training them from 6 weeks old. These dogs is not aggressive. They need to trigger this aggressiveness to start biting. And we're also asking the public, please, it's not a property protector. This dog is actually a companion, and they're doing man work with Pitbull. Because of the crime. South Africa, the crime is just uncontrollable. There's no control over crime. Now they want to get a Pitbull because it's an image status. They can walk around, I've got a Pitbull. And all these moldings, what did this do? It just escalating, telling the people they're dangerous. So all the wrong people want to have a pit bull. And then they want their properties and everybody to be protected by them, and they will not.
Yeah. And tell us, how can one make contact with your organization should a dog owner maybe require your assistance with their aggressive pit bulls?
You can always go onto our website. It's www.underdogs.co.za, or they can contact me on my number. It's 082 774 3264. And if they've got any behavior problems or they want us to come out and a screening on the situation, how the dog lives, they must not cage these dogs as well. That's very frustrating, these dogs, especially, when they're females on heat and stuff like that. But we will go and see. We will ask we've got a team that will go out and educate. I'll go as well. We will do assessment on the dogs. If you feel your dog is a bit aggressive today, or this is something is wrong, it can always be something medically. Maybe they've got an ear infection. Maybe they've got a broken tooth, and screening and giving them something and throw a ball and it gets hurt. So let us go out. We will help to educate. We're first going to check the dog medically. We've got a veterinary doctor on our books. And we will educate them, see the property, see the dog's behavior, see how he interacts with the family. Because if there is fear in between the family and the dog, it's also a trigger. So you're welcome to call us. And we've got a Facebook page, also Underdogs South Africa Rehabilitation Center on Facebook. I will send you guys the link on a WhatsApp.
Great. Thank you so much for joining us, Estelle. It's been really, really enlightening. And yeah, so thank you.
That's a big thing. Oh, that's a pleasure. I'm also asking the guys, please, everybody, doesn't matter who you are, please don't take this matter into your own hands. Don't start killing pit bulls left, right, and center. If you don't want your dog anymore, phone the SPCA. If you don't want the dog anymore, we will also go out and fetch the dogs. Rather put them down by a veterinary doctor that do it in the right way and that's not cruel, as to start killing and burning and cutting the dog's throats. Please, let's not get there. Let's do it the proper way. Don't get caught in cruelty and you're going to sit maybe with a cruelty case against you. Let's work together. We want to work together and solve this problem.
100%. Thank you so much again, Estelle. Have a good afternoon.
Thank you very much for having us here.
That was the founder of Underdogs SA Pitbull Rehabilitation Center, Estelle Smith, who is speaking to us about the current situation that we are having with pit bulls and the ability to actually rehabilitate them and let them be better in the communities and the responsibilities of the owners as well. The time is now 1:03 and we've come to the end of another jam-packed show. Thank you so much for joining me today. From me and the team, till tomorrow, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.